So, you've picked up Solium Infernum, and you're now wondering, how do I become the new Dark Majesty of Hell? Well, you've come to the right place. Kind of. I've won a few games at least. That's the first thing I want to go over, really. Solium Infernum's a difficult game, and there's usually 3 to 5 other players trying to win just as much as you are. You're not going to win the vast majority of your games against real players, and that's okay. I don't win the vast majority of my games, and I fancy myself to be a pretty good player, or at least some other people I know are good have told me that I am an absolute menace, and I'll take what I can get. So, winning. How do we win? You might be thinking, I know this one. Having the most prestige at the end of the game and winning the election. No. Well, yes, you can win that way, but that's not really the game's primary win condition. The primary win condition is this. This absolutely beautiful city of obsidian is Mulciber's greatest creation, Pandemonium. It's got decently high combat stats, quite a large health pool, and can be captured, just like a place of power. If you capture and hold it for 5 turns, you win. Easy, right? Well, not really. See, Pandemonium is also the seat of the Conclave, and they tend to get a little upset about archfiends laying siege to their house and setting up camp in their living room. So upset, in fact, that the moment you so much as breathe in the general direction of Pandemonium, the Conclave is going to excommunicate you. That means the rules no longer apply to you. Anyone can stroll into your lands and take your holdings, cast destruction rituals on you without bothering to hide it was them, and can even take your stronghold and mount your head on a pike if they so feel like it. Similarly, however, the rules no longer protect your opponents from you. You can blow their legions up, take their strongholds, and even claim their cantons just by walking over them. You essentially enter a state of total war with your opponents, and there's no holds barred. There are, however, some significant downsides to being a very naughty boy and being crossed off the Conclave's Christmas card list. The biggest problem is that you can't use the Bazaar anymore. That means no more buying legions. You're stuck with what you've got, unless you can convert more using the Capstone Deceit ritual. And if the other players kill one of your legions, that's one less you've got for the rest of the game. The upshot of all this is that holding Pandemonium, even just for 5 turns, isn't actually that easy. You've suddenly got the rest of the board working together to stop you winning, and they'll probably throw all their legions straight at your stronghold, which has combat capabilities that I would charitably describe as underwhelming, and if you end the turn not in control of your stronghold, that's an instant loss condition. Nevertheless, this is how most games end up going. Somebody makes a play for the crown using force of arms, and the rest of the table might be able to stop them. If they stop them quickly, somebody else will probably do the exact same thing a little down the line, and the cycle repeats until somebody manages to hold the city. And it's going to be easier the second time someone tries it. Every time Pandemonium changes hands, it needs to be held for one less turn before the player holding it wins outright. If it takes a long time to stop them, however, leaving everyone depleted of resources and without many assets remaining in the field, that's when the election becomes relevant as a tiebreaker. So whenever you're playing Solium Infernum, think to yourself as you go, how does what I'm doing get me closer to taking and holding the city? Does what I'm doing get me any closer to that objective at all? Does what I'm doing prevent my opponents from building enough power to take and hold the city themselves? Because if it doesn't, you might want to think of another plan. After all, once Astaroth's cut your head off and thrown it on the steps of Pandemonium, nobody's going to care how many duels your Praetor won, and prestige doesn't help when your stronghold door's being knocked down.